Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to Medical Qigong Practice. My name is Mary Frances. I am one of Henry Junwali's students. We've got 3 different warm-up variations under our belts now. So we're going to start rotating from one to the other. Each one has their own unique gifts and strengths in allowing us to connect the breath with the body and the mind with the body. So we're going to travel back to our original opening this morning. Opening up, I'm going to try to mirror you. Feet are hip width, shoulder width apart. We're settling in, relaxing the bottoms of the feet, softening the knees, relaxing the low back. Relaxing the shoulders. If it helps, maybe bringing the shoulders up and back, forward and back, and then letting them drop down. The tip of the tongue is elevated to the roof of the mouth. The jaw is softened. And the very top of the head is going to reach just a little bit into the sky. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose, we're going to start tapping with the left hand to open up the right side of the body. Sorry, I was talking about what I was doing. Sometimes the mirroring left and right doesn't always work. So you're using the right hand to open up the left side of the body. There we go. Left hand for right side. Maybe I've been skipping this one for a reason. We're starting out at the lower dantian. That's 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. We're tapping firmly enough that we can feel it, that our minds can register the vibrations, but not so firmly that we're actually causing any type of pain or discomfort. We're traveling up the midline. To just underneath the clavicle, reaching across to underneath the arm. Then traveling down the ribs, back on over to the midline, and up to the very top of the shoulder. Coming down the outside of the arm, the yang side of the arm. To the back of the hand. And then the palm. Traveling up now the inside of the arm or the yin side of the arm. Back to the very top of the shoulder. Letting the arm hang loose. And then wiping out anything you don't need or want, letting it go deep into the earth. Working on the other side now. Still starting out the lower dantian, 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. And beginning our journey, opening up the right side of the body. Continuing to relax into the space, letting the mind connect with those vibrations being caused, allowing the tissues to open, relax, generating a little bit more blood and qi flow. letting that arm hang loose. And then wiping out anything you don't need or want, letting it go back into the earth so that the earth may transform the energy to something useful. Okay, we're widening our stance further, moving that left leg out to the side. I'm going to reposition myself. And then we're tapping the inner thigh and then up at the hip. Continuing on, starting at the top of the hip, we're working our way down the inner aspect of the legs or the yin side of the legs towards just above the ankle or wherever it's comfortable for you. Coming now to the lateral aspect of the legs, the outside of the legs, the yang side. And traveling back up. Once you reach the hips and the glutes, sliding that left foot a little closer to the right, maintaining that hip width, shoulder width distance. Maybe adding a little more force to the tapping in the glutes. And then working on up to just underneath the rib cage in the low back. Waking up the tissues there. Allowing the low back to start waking up the kidney energy. Or then placing the palms of the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Maybe generating a little bit of warmth here. And then resting the palms at the low back, allowing the eyes to close so that you may better imagine inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. And then exhaling, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to that low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to flow freely to wherever it's needed. Inhaling, allowing that connection to the kidneys and the kidney energy. And exhaling, relaxing the mind into the breath, relaxing the body, and allowing that chi to flow freely to wherever it's needed. Gently opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides. We're going to be closing, bringing that left foot back to the right. And we're immediately going to start our Golden Eight series with Reach for Happiness, the lung and large intestine exercise. Opening up. We're inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Now working with your own breath, coordinating the breath and the movement together, allowing one to inform the other. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our second exercise for the heart and small intestine, the Archer exercise. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. And allowing yourself to flow from side to side. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our third exercise between heaven and earth for the spleen and stomach. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Continuing on, allowing the breath to enter and exit the body freely. The more relaxed the breath is, the more relaxed the tissue in the body is. Enjoying the flow of the exercise. Allowing the mind to relax into the exercise. And getting ready to close. Closing. And opening for our fourth exercise, the Sanjiao exercise. Turn and look back. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our fifth exercise for the liver and gallbladder, twist and release, opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Letting the breath guide the movement. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our sixth exercise, been for health for the kidney and urinary bladder systems, opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. Out. And inhaling back to standing. Getting ready to close. Closing. Your 7th exercise, the energy punch exercise for the Ren channel. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our 8th exercise, the energy jump exercise for the Do channel in 2 parts. Opening. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Transitioning to part 2, inhaling and exhaling. And closing. Keeping the feet together, bringing the palms together. Washing the face 9 times. Wiping above the eye and under the eye 9 times. Then up and down the entirety of the nose 9 times. Circling at the bottom of the nose, middle of the nose, the very top of the nose, 9 times inward, 9 times outward. And then just underneath the eyes on the cheekbone, inward 9 times. And then outward. Using the fingertips, dredging the channels of the scalp 9 times. Beating the drum 9 times. Grasping the ears 9 times. And then switching. Popping the cork 9 times. Filter mandibular crease inward and then outward 9 times each. Massaging the jaw 9 times each side. Our number changes to 12 times total, or 6 times each side, as we brush down the throat, guiding the chi back down into the body. And then continuing on, brushing down the breastbone 12 times total or 6 times each side. Then resting the palms at the lower dantian. Circling up the right and down the left 9 times. And the other direction. Resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. Using the mind intent as we inhale through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. And as we exhale, letting that energy settle and store so that we may use it throughout the rest of our day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the chi to gather into the lower dantian. And then settle and store. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, letting the mind relax, the body relax, and letting that chi settle. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you for practicing with us. Henry, please answer our questions and chi-chat.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's Monday. Today, we're going to talk a bit about the seasons and foods. Okay, so we're doing, because right now we're moving into early summer season. So actually, let me pull up the 5 elements just to make sure everyone's in sync. Okay, so back to 5 elements. So right now we are in early summer, and early summer is fire, okay? But early summer is also overlapping with earth, okay? So why is that? Earth is the transition element. Okay, so earth is between all the different seasons. So between spring and summer, you have an aspect of earth. So right now we have earth energy as well as fire energy, okay? So in terms of earth energy, what is that organ system related to? That's related to your digestive system, okay? So your spleen and stomach organs is what's important right now, along with the fire organs, right? So that would be related to your fire, okay? So in terms of foods and things like that to eat, with earth, we have to worry about harmonizing, okay? So again, this is between seasons. So you really want to take care of your digestive system. So if you have things like indigestion, if you have feeling a little slow and heavy, bogged down, and that also includes in the mind as well, feeling mental fogginess, that would also be related to earth. And so you kind of want to keep things relatively light. You want to avoid too much oil, you want to avoid too much processed fast food, so don't go to In-N-Out so often, okay? And watch out for that pizza, all right? Occasionally it's okay, but you don't want to have that every day. And so you want to monitor keeping everything very light. And the other aspect with the earth and the spleen and stomach, the digestive system, is mild flavors. So it tends to be more bland right now. So like spicy foods, pungent foods, salty foods. So try to keep things very mild. So less salt, less of all those seasonings as we transition here. So some people have more of a predisposition to spleen stuff. If you tend to have a lot of history of sweets, okay, so even though we say the flavor for for the digestive system is sweet because it helps nourish the yin of the body and helps disperse the energy to all the rest of the organs. You want to have that in moderation, so watch out for those candy bars and ice cream as well. Okay, but a little bit of sweet is okay. So again, remember the yin and yang, right? That S curve, and so you want to find that balance within. Okay, so that's with the earth, and that's the transition. So take care of your digestive system, and then regarding the fire, okay, fire is related to the heart, and the flavor that we associate with fire is bitter. Okay, the bitter taste. Why the bitter taste? Because it's actually very bitter foods tend to be very anti-inflammatory, and they also have they sink the energy, so the energy will go down, and it's actually quite good for the fire because fire tends to rise up. So having some bitter foods helps calm down and control the fire, so it doesn't go out of control. All right. So what foods are good for that? So let's give some examples. Okay. So fire, you can look at the bigger picture. The color of fire is red, right? So we also associate foods with that. So the foods that are red in color, or more generally, things that have a brilliant color. So very colorful. And if you go to a farmer's market, you'll find that there's a lot more colors out that are for sale. So things like even like berries, like strawberries, those red colors, things like beets, both the regular red beets and the golden beets. So those are all very colorful things, watermelon. So like peppers, like the bell peppers, for example, the reds, the yellows, the greens. So all those are great for the summer season. And then things that are more specific for bitter taste. So things like alfalfa, asparagus, papaya. Those are some examples. And I do recommend, if you are just starting out, you're trying to figure out what foods, and you're really interested in some references, I do recommend this book as a good starter. It's called Healing with Whole Foods. This is an older edition, but you can find this online or at a local bookstore. So it's a really good reference, and he actually talks about these things in terms of breaking it down to 5 elements and to the organs, and it gives you a more Western perspective onto Chinese nutrition and how we look at how to integrate foods with seasons, with our bodies and the different organ systems. So it's quite holistic, and it gives you a really good understanding. And also there's a lot of recipes and food lists and stuff like that in there. So you're overlapping, okay, again, so you're overlapping fire and earth. That's the time right now for the next, from the Cinco de Mayo, right? That's about the start of the fire season. So that's early fire for the next 2 weeks. So until about the 19th or the 20th, we say that's early fire season, overlapping with earth. So spleen, stomach, digestive system you have to take care of, and the heart. Of course, the biggest thing with the heart is your emotions, right? So that's, so you want to take care of, like, if you're feeling a little depressed or you're feeling a little bit anxious, these are the emotions of fire, the challenges of fire at this time. And for most of us, easy healing is connection with people. So you want to eat well, but you also want to continue to connect with people, okay? And, typically it would be party time, socializing time in the summertime. However, things like alcohol and sweets, they tend to flare up the fire because they tend to be fire when we eat them. So that can make the fire worse. So you definitely want to be careful of having too much alcohol, okay? A tiny bit is okay, and we never recommend alcohol before doing Qigong, all right? So don't drink a shot of whiskey before Qigong. Why, you might wonder, okay? The reason why we don't is because you lose control of the qi. Of course, some of you may have seen, those kung fu movies, like I did back when you were young, and they had the drunken kung fu, okay? But that's normally not recommended that you do drunken qigong. So, you know, because yeah, you lose control of your qi, and so your cultivation practice would be out the window. Although it may make for some interesting times ahead. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to share to you today, for you to start thinking about foods, to start thinking about transitioning into this summer season and some of the emotions and some of the organs to look out for. So we'll try to expand upon that in the next few days. But if you have any questions, if you have any curiosity about anything that we can answer, please let us know, both now and also in the future.